Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time talking episode 4 of season 3 of Star Wars The Clone Wars called The Last Battle. And in general, I thought this was an alright episode. It's just one that doesn't really feel hugely relevant to what's going on overall. But let's just kind of get right into it. Now, they do bring back a droid from Clone Wars, but I'm not sure if I'm forgetting this droid, the episode this one's from. I think it was called The Big Bang, or if this is from that season 6 that was on Netflix that I've just never gotten around to watching. But here it's basically kind of, as they say repeatedly in this episode, this is the real last battle of the Clone Wars. And, this robot, this droid, wants to kind of find out, like, yeah, did I really have what it takes to sort of make sure that the Separatists won the Clone Wars? And, I mean, it's certainly an interesting idea that they're playing around with here, but it doesn't really feel hugely consequential. It's really just kind of a way to sort of, I suppose, end the Clone Wars on a little bit more positive note than the Jedi getting massacred and the Republic turning into the Empire. It's been repeatedly said that there were heroes on both sides during the Clone Wars. That was even the name of one of the episodes of Clone Wars. Separatists did have genuine and legitimate grievances. And the Republic also had very good reasons for doing what they did as well. And of course, as is stated, ultimately the winner of the Clone Wars was the Empire. So, I guess on a thematic level, sort of a win here kind of does something sort of, as I said, end things on a more positive note. But it's just sort of still a bit of a pirate victory in any case. When the Empire is still around, and it's kind of hilarious to watch the stormtroopers show up, look at the flankers, and then immediately like, okay, you know the drill, and immediately gun them down, even though the robots were friendly and wanted to talk. It's just another example of just how ridiculous and wasteful the Empire was. Surely those droids could have been put to some use, if nothing else, for spare parts or something. But no, the Empire is just like, yeah, just shoot them. And honestly, the idea of what's going on here, I did how they sort of like Rex's attitude of slipping back into his old self in the Clone Wars. Talking about how you can't take flankers as jokes. Praising his armor, how it's still good after all of these years. Kanan treats the whole situation very grimly because he saw a lot of bad stuff back in those times. And Ezra, of course, treats it all kind of like a game. He doesn't follow orders, he's just cocky, and Rex rightfully basically tears him a new hole when he basically said, when Ezra's all like, hey, I'd have made a pretty good soldier, huh? And Rex points out, like, no, good soldiers follow orders. Which goes to show you that Ezra still does have a lot to learn. And you'd think that after everything he's been through, that he would take something like this a little bit more seriously. But in all fairness, it's these 20-year-old pieces of junk basically picking a fight with him and his friend and his friends. It's just sort of like, geez, under normal circumstances, we'd be able to tear through these guys like paper. And there's really nothing particular to say about the Empire this episode. I was a little slightly surprised that they didn't have the droid joining up with the rebels at the end of it all, but that kind of harkens back. I think having that happen would have been a little bit too much of a repeat of one of the droid episodes from last season. So having that droid out there as a potential wild card, I think it was the right move. It kind of keeps things interesting in my book. And well, frankly, that really kind of covers everything I had to say about this episode. There was some nice action. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more of the psychological impact of having to deal with the real last battle of the Clone Wars. A little bit more from Kanan would have been really great. We did have some nice stuff from Rex, but a little bit more of Kanan's thoughts on the whole matter, I think, would have been nice. And yeah, guys, with that said, I'm going to call it here. It's a decent episode, but at the end of the day, it does feel a little bit like filler. So, as always, please comment, rate, subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and please also join me on Tumblr, Jedi Reviewer. Until next time, take care and have a good one.